You've heard it 100 times, loud pipes save lives. But is that actually true? Or is it just something we tell ourselves to justify? So today, I'm breaking down the science, the psychology, and the reality of loud pipes, that whether they actually make you any safer out there on UK roads or not. I'll say this up front. This isn't about bashing loud pipes. I've come across bikes that shook windows, and there's nothing quite like the sound of a well-tuned exhaust echoing off a tunnel wall. Quite enjoyable, actually. But when we talk about safety, we need to look past the bravado and get into the facts. Because if your safety plan is based on noise alone, and I'm just talking about safety plans, by the way, you put yourself in some serious risk. So where did the whole loud pipe save lives idea come from? It's been around for decades, originally from the cruiser and of course chopper scene, where riders believed louder exhausts made them more noticeable in traffic. And in fairness, there's some logic to it. Motorcycles are small, they're fast, often overlooked. Anything that makes us more visible or audible should help, right? Well, this is where it starts getting interesting. Multiple studies, including work from the UK's Transport Research Laboratory and the US NHTSA, suggest that engine noise has very limited directional reach, especially at speed. I looked in my rearview mirror on this road, in fact, last week, and I could see a bike coming behind me really fast. I couldn't hear it at all. I couldn't hear a thing. It was at least 1,000cc, and when it passed me, the shockwave of the exhaust nearly put me into a wobble. So think about it. Most of your exhaust sound projects behind you, not in front. So that driver that's just about to pull out of a junction or something, they're not going to hear you until you're past them, if at all. And with modern cars being so well soundproofed, especially with windows up and music on, many drivers won't register your presence until you're right beside them or too late. Now this is where psychology comes in. A loud bike feels safer because it gives the rider feedback. You're more aware of your own presence. But what matters for accident prevention is whether other road users perceive, not how confident you feel. So loud pipes give the illusion of being noticed, which can lead to overconfidence. You might think you're being heard when in reality you're just being loud to yourself. Now, I'm not saying loud pipes are totally useless. In tight urban traffic, when you're filtering or lane splitting on low speeds, a throaty exhaust can alert drivers beside you. You can see people notice you in their mirrors. They often shift a little so you can whip past, which is exactly what you want. But that advantage drops off rapidly at high speeds, or when you're in front of a vehicle, and at that point visual awareness and lane discipline become your main survival tools. So what keeps us safe out here? Studies consistently show that conspicuity, being seen, has more impact than being heard. High-vis gear, reflective decals, DRLs, daytime running lights in other words, and proper positioning in traffic give you a massive edge. And the big one, anticipation and road reading. Be aware of blind spots, junction, danger zones and gaps in traffic. It's more effective than any pipe decibel level. So personally, I like a bike with a bit of character. I don't want to ride a sewing machine. I've got a decent slip-on that brings out a nice sound in my motorcycle, but because I like feeling connected, but I don't really want to rely on that sound to keep me safe. I treat my exhaust note like background music, nice to have, but not the headline act. If I had to choose between a loud pipe and a rider with sharp road awareness, I know who's coming home safe. So, what do you think? Do loud pipes actually save lives, or is it a myth that needs to be retired? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from both sides of the fence. If this gave you something to think about, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe and or follow for more evidence-based riding insights, and share this with a mate who insists their bike is loud for safety reasons. Until next time, ride smart, ride safe, and remember, being heard is nice, but being seen saves life. Take care.